Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Ali Liliopolani and I am all about sharing tips, tricks, and quick and easy hairstyles for all you busy mamas and busy ladies out there. So today I'm not going to be showing you a hairstyle, but I am going to be sharing some really important information, and that is the top 6 reasons you're damaging your own hair without even realizing it, and what you can do to fix it. So back when I was in the salon, this is a subject that came up all the time. Clients were constantly asking like, why is my hair damaged? Why do I have breakage right here? Or I don't know what I'm doing wrong. My hair isn't growing. What I found over the years is that there are very common reasons that people are causing damage to their hair without even realizing it. And there's such easy things to fix. As soon as you're aware of the problem, you can fix the situation almost immediately. Okay, so let's get into it. Number 1, the first reason that you are causing damage to your hair without even realizing it is that you're using bad brushes or old brushes. So a lot of the brushes we use come with a little silicone tip on top of each bristle. And I'm sure you've all seen this happen where those little tips start coming off. Well, once those little tips fall off, what's left is a rough, hard plastic or metal surface. And when you're combing through your hair with that, those rough pieces can be tearing and ripping at your hair, causing damage that you don't realize. You're just combing your hair out and it could be causing damage. And of course there are other brushes that don't come with those little tips that are just soft bristle brushes. After time, if you're using a round brush with a soft bristle brush or something like that, the heat that could come from constant blow drying on those little bristles can cause the bristles to melt or lose their shape or bend in ways that can snag and pull on the hair. So it's very important to regularly replace your brushes with a new fresh brush. So the first thing you can do is go check out your brushes. If any of those tips have fallen off, quit using that brush and go get a new one. If you have a soft bristle brush or a round brush that doesn't have those little tips, check it out. Make sure that the bristles aren't bent or curved in a way that can snag your hair. If they are, quit using it, go get a new brush. It's very important to regularly refresh your brushes so that they're not pulling and tugging on your hair, causing unnecessary damage. So number 2, the second way that you can be causing damage to your hair without even realizing it is by trying to brush out or comb out any tease or tangles in your hair in the shower when your hair is wet. Now, I've talked about this before. I have a whole other video and I can link it on how to comb tease out of your hair without damaging it. But I have to add this to the list because this does cause damage and so many people don't realize it. So if you have tease in your hair, or if you just have tangles, if you were, it was a windy day and you just have lots of tangles in your hair, do not try to get in the shower and comb them out wet. Your hair is the most fragile when it's wet. So you always want to comb that out dry before you get in and wash it. If you're pulling at the hair and there's a tough tangle or a tight knot or tease in the hair and you're trying to pull at it while it's wet, it has so much more of a chance of breaking than it does when it's dry. So make sure to use a soft bristle brush, take small sections and comb those out gently before you get it wet. So if you've tried to do it before, it's okay. Just don't do it anymore. Make sure that you are using a soft bristle brush or a wet brush and gently comb out all the tangles, all the tease, all the knots before you get your hair wet. And it's gonna help your hair so much because the hair is just too fragile when it's wet. So the third reason that you are causing damage to your hair without even realizing it is putting your hair in a ponytail every day. Now this one happens so frequently and it's always something that clients would be like, what? I thought I was doing something good for my hair by always putting it in a ponytail. So what's happening is, especially if you're doing it wet, because I know a lot of people think, you know what, I don't want to blow dry it, I don't want to put the heat on it and cause damage, so I'm going to put my hair in a ponytail, let it dry, and it will be much healthier that way. Well, what's happening is when you're pulling your hair, especially wet, all the way back into one spot, the tension from the rubber band in the same spot on those hairs over and over is going to cause it to get brittle and eventually break. Yes, you can wear a ponytail. Of course you can wear a ponytail, but you don't want to be doing it every day in the same place. So you could either rotate your ponytail, move it on top of your head, move it lower on your head so it's not the same tension spot every time, or try doing a braid, because a braid is going to control your hair, but there's not one single tension spot. So you just want to relieve the pressure and the tension from constantly being on that same spot of the hair, and that's going to help keep your hair from breaking and splitting under the pressure. Okay, so the fourth reason that you could be causing damage to your hair without even realizing it is your pillowcase. So over the years, I learned I could tell what side a person slept on, right or left, when I went to cut their hair, because the side that they slept on always had way more split ends and way more damage. And I would always say, do you sleep on this side? And they would be like, yes, I do. How did you know that? Because the hair was telling me. So when you're sleeping, you're not perfectly still the whole night. You're moving, you're rolling, you're moving your hair gets roughed up. So if you don't have a surface that's slick enough, there's going to be friction constantly happening while you're sleeping. And that over time, we sleep every night for 6 hours, 8 hours, and that friction is happening and your ends are going to start to split. It's the easiest fix. All you have to do is get a satin pillowcase. It makes the hugest difference in the world because satin is so slick. Not only is it amazing for your hair in preventing split ends, but it's also great for your skin for the same reason and helps prevent wrinkles from tension when you're sleeping and pulling and tugging on your skin. I mean, you could get a satin pillowcase at Walmart. It doesn't have to be expensive, but the important part is that compared to cotton, even very nice cotton, even high count cotton that it feels really soft, it is not going to be as slick as satin. So go out and get yourself a satin pillowcase. It is going to do your hair so much good by eliminating that friction while you're sleeping, and it is going to greatly reduce the amount of split ends you're seeing in your hair. Okay, so the fifth reason that you are causing damage to your hair without even realizing it is the rough blow dry. So here's the problem. Imagine your hair is like a snake. So snakes have scales that all point in the same direction. And if you were to pet them against the scales in the wrong direction, you would cause them a lot of pain. So your hair has cuticles and they're all pointing down in the same direction. They're all pointing away from your scalp. So when you're blow drying, if the airflow coming out of the blow dryer is hitting against the cuticle, it's going to rough it up. It's going to cause it to open up. They're going to start getting friction and grabbing onto each other. And that's where you're going to start seeing damage. And it's going to cause pain to your hair, just like it would to the snake. That does not mean that you can't rough blow dry your hair, that you can't flip your head upside down and get that volume that you like if that's how you like to do it. All it means is that when the airflow is coming out of the blow dryer, no matter if your hair is pointing up to the sides or pointing down, you want to make sure that the airflow is going with the cuticle. So the cuticle is always going away from the scalp. No matter if the hair is going up, the airflow needs to go up. If the hair is going down, the airflow needs to go down. You just always want to remember the snake. You do not want to pet against the scales on a snake or you will cause it pain. And just like that, you do not want the airflow from the blow dryer to be going against the cuticle or you will cause your hair pain and damage. So the sixth reason that you are causing damage to your hair without even realizing it is your hot tools. Now I know you're probably thinking that you already know hot tools cause damage to the hair, but they don't have to cause as much damage as they might be causing. And this is why. Most hot tools have a range in temperature, all the way from the 200s to most go up into 450, 400, 450 these days. Most people get their hot tool, they put it all the way up to the top to 350, 450, whatever it is that your tool goes to, and they just go to town on their hair. So the thing is that not all hair needs that high of a temperature. If you're using a flat iron and you're just trying to calm down the little hairs around your face, or your natural hair isn't really curly, you just kind of want to smooth it out and give it that shine, you don't need 400 degrees of temperature. You might only need 350 or 200 degrees of temperature. The coarser the hair, usually the higher temperature you need, and the finer the hair, usually the lower temperature that you need. So the way you fix that problem is go get your hot tool. The next time you need to flat iron your hair or curl your hair, whatever temperature it's already set on, lower it to the temperature setting right below the one you're using. Do your hair and see how the results come out. If you get the results that you want, awesome. That means you don't need to be using the highest setting. The next time you do your hair, try one setting below that and keep going until you don't get the results you want. Then you know that the setting right above it is the one you need. So if you start at 450, next time you try 425, your hair is great. Next time you try 400, your hair is great. Next time you try 375, it's not quite doing what you want. It's not quite smooth enough. It's not quite holding that curl the way you like it. Go back up to the last one that worked and stay there. You don't need to go above that. Most of us are using more heat on our hair than necessary. Now, will 375 degrees still cause damage? Yes, 375 degrees is still very hot and it is still going to cause damage to your hair. Any heat on the hair is still going to cause damage, but you can reduce the amount of damage and reduce how fast it's going to get damaged by finding the lowest temperature that works for your hair. Okay, so there you go. 6 ways that you may have been damaging your hair without even realizing it, and 6 simple ways to fix the problem. All you have to do is make those simple changes. You're going to start noticing less split ends. You're going to start noticing stronger, shinier, healthier hair. I hope that helps shine a little light on how we could treat our hair better. And if it was helpful for you, make sure to let me know by giving me a thumbs up and leave me a comment below. Have you been doing any of these things to your hair? And are you excited to know that there is something you can do to make it better? And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because I have new videos coming out every Thursday and I do not want you to miss them.